Hi everyone, so today we have an election prediction for the Senate 2018 elections. So starting off with the firstly, we have 23 Democrats not up for re-election and 42 Republicans not up for re-election. Obviously, the advantage with the Republicans. Let's fill in the safe Republican states first, actually. And Mississippi. You could say Mississippi special election is pretty much going to be safe. Now, for the safe Democratic states, the West Coast is likely to go to the Democrats. Over in New Mexico, I can't really see the GOP putting up anyone good in New Mexico. Across the Northeast, they all have pretty popular Democratic incumbents. In New York, Vermont, and Maine, yeah, that probably is likely. So let's go into the map options and change it into safe, likely, leaning, and toss-up. Okay, so let's start off with the 7 p.m. poll closing. So Indiana, this is one of the hotly contested seats. I think that Joe Donnelly can narrowly edge this one out over Mike Braun. With the incumbents factor, it's pretty much going to go to Joe Donnelly. Over in Virginia, Tim Kaine is pretty popular. I would rate this as likely for Tim Kaine. It's pretty much going to go to him regardless. Going over to the state of Vermont, that's safe. Going into the 7:30 hour, we have Ohio and West Virginia. I think that both of these will stay with the Democrats. Ohio, I think, is likely for the Democrats, especially with the incumbent seat. Jim Renassi, not the best candidate for the GOP. In West Virginia, this is leaning Democratic. I think that Joe Manchin, he's pretty popular in West Virginia. I think he can narrowly edge this one out. Going into the 8 o'clock hour, poll closings will start up in Maine. There's no good GOP candidates in the state of Maine. Eric Brackley is a state senator from District 20, so that's not necessarily like the best candidate. And Angus King is already a very popular independent who caucuses with the Democrats. In the state of Pennsylvania, this is another hotly contested seat. I think that this would be either likely or leaning. I will leave it as likely for right now. I think that Bob Casey can hold this one on, especially with the incumbent seat. Going down to the state of Tennessee, this is going to be a hotly contested seat. I think that it is likely for Marsha Blackburn. Phil Bredesen did do very well as a governor, but Tennessee is just so Republican. I cannot see Phil Bredesen taking over that role in the state of Tennessee. Marsha Blackburn, a representative from the 7th District. I think that she is pretty much kind of popular, so I think she can hold on there. Going down to the Sunshine State of Florida, a battleground state, Bill Nelson, I think, will edge this one out, especially with the gun debate, etc. Not necessarily going to help Rick Scott. He's also not the most popular one. Over in Missouri, this is a really, really close state. I will come back to the state of Missouri. This should really just be a pure toss-up. Going over to the state of Michigan, I would rate this one pretty much as safe. The GOP really not gonna put anyone up good there. Wisconsin, Tammy Baldwin probably gonna hold on here. She's pretty popular in the state of Wisconsin. Neighboring Minnesota, I think that Minnesota at large will be safe, but the special election I would regard as likely because Tina Smith probably gonna win there. Going down to the state of Texas, that should really be a pure toss-up. I will come back to the state of Texas. But going over to Arizona, I mean, Martha McSally is probably going to be the GOP nominee, but Kristen Sinema is already pretty much well known across the state with all the immigrants that are coming into the state of Arizona. I think that Kristen Sinema will hold on here. Going over to the state of North Dakota, I think that Kevin Cramer will edge this one out, partly because I think that his conservative message will really resonate with some of North Dakota voters. I've made up my mind on Missouri. I think that Claire McCaskill narrowly edges this one out, but it's still going to be pretty close. In Montana, I think that this is likely for Jon Tester. The GOP really doesn't have many good candidates to put up. Going over to the state of Nevada, I think that Jackie Rosen can narrowly edge this one out. It really should be leaning for the Democrats because Dean Heller not so popular in the state of Nevada. And the final state, Texas, this is a pure toss-up, but for the time being, I think that Ted Cruz will narrowly edge on over Beto O'Rourke. But I think once Beto O'Rourke gets his name out to many of these Texas voters, especially in the south of Texas and in Houston, Dallas, that area, I think this is going to be a very close seat. Now that I'm thinking about it, this should really just be a pure toss-up because you have to factor in the incumbency, but Beto, time and time again, we've seen that the grassroots campaign sort of thing always comes over the super PAC stuff and all the rest of it. We've seen it with Doug Jones in Alabama. We've seen it over and over. We've seen it with Trump. We've seen it with all the special elections. We've seen it in Pennsylvania. The GOP poured so much money into that race, and then the Democrats actually won. We've seen it time and time again. But for the time being, maybe it might go to Beto on the election day. But for right now, I think that Ted Cruz will narrowly hold on to the state of Texas. So final electoral map, 50 Republicans and 50 Democrats, effectively making the Republicans the owner of the U.S. Senate because of Mike Pence and all that stuff. So thank you for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.